Nation. Welcome to another great episode of The Stoop, where we talk hoops, hoops, and more hoops, man. I'm your guy, TJ. Thank you for tuning in each and every great episode that we have. And listen, first and foremost, I got to go ahead and take time out to introduce my player partner, my co-creator, co-founder of The Stoop, my guy, my brother from another, Kev P. Kev P, say what's up to the people, bro.
As always, it's a pleasure to be here, man. I'm real excited tonight.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of them ones, man, where we just gonna keep it all the way 1,000 after we're gonna make it 1,000,000, because he's a real dude. And I usually do the whole big introduction, but I'm gonna stick to the script tonight, man, because this North Carolina, this Asheville, North Carolina. I want to make sure I get it correct because I ain't want to mess nothing up, man. He's a traditional high flyer, man, and he's been known to get around that basket real creatively, man. He's a 2005 national champion. He got an international and domestic career spanning 10 years, and he loves to talk his talk. They look at him as the bad guy now in the big three, man, but he's just a real dude. Ladies and gentlemen, on the stoop tonight, Mr. Rashad McCants. Mr. McCants, coming to the stoop. We appreciate you, brother.
Welcome.
So listen, man, we're going to get right to it. First and foremost, who put the ball in your hand, man? Who exposed you to the game and who exposed you to the love of the game?
It wasn't anybody in particular. But first and foremost, I want to just say I'm a New York nigga at heart. I'm from North Carolina, but I've always been a New York. I've been a Yankee fan for a long time, lifelong, since I was about 7. So I want to get that out the way first and foremost. My swag is different.
Man.
So a lot of the stuff I'm gonna say to y'all gonna come from a different type of spirit than these dudes is normal. They're not really around that type of spirit, that type of energy. So that's where my energy comes from originally. Okay. So my uncle, he was the first one to really kind of show me the form of the basketball and what I was supposed to do to shoot. But I was an all athlete type of guy. It wasn't no destiny story. Oh, you're supposed to play ball your whole life. Nah, it was, I played everything. I was good at everything. I was kind of like the good bully that would fight the bad bullies. And I had my little entourage with me. And we would play sports all over the place. But I just got good at basketball because I decided to make it my focus. So that's just a prodigy lifestyle, just trying to figure out what you're good at. And I figured out that I was good at ball, probably like 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade.
Okay. So, next in line after hooping, what else did you enjoy, man, growing up as a kid? Maybe it was a football, baseball. What else you get in the mood for?
Man, music.
Music? Oh, okay.
Music was my first real love when it came down to it. So the sports, that's just something we did, what we do in the hood. You go out what we doing today. We riding bikes, we flipping on the mattress, we're gonna play football today, whatever it was a different something every day. Wasn't nothing. One thing was consistent was basketball because we had our little court in the hood, but we did everything. So it wasn't like it was anything in particular. Okay. But I just happened to be really good at that at the time.
No doubt. So let's fast forward a little bit. Was it middle school, high school when you realized, I might be all right at this hoop thing. So can I do this for the future? Like, when did you really get serious about your craft?
The AAU circuit, like for me, I'm 35 now, so I came up in the 2002 high school class. So our AAU circuits, going back to YBOA, Youth Basketball of America, for the old heads, they know what that is. That's where the real AAU started. My story is different just because I had to go through different hoops. I got cut in the 8th grade from the team, and I was the best player in the state. And they did it because of my grades to teach me a lesson. So I ended up having to play youth league, which is like beyond JV level. And so some AAU coach came to one of my games to see me play and was just blown away, like the fact that I wasn't playing middle school somewhere, picked me up. And I think that was the moment that let me know outside of my hood that I was good enough to go play with the traveling teams. And once you've seen the traveling teams play compared to your teams, you like, man, they gonna kill everybody. Who are these dudes? But you never knew they was a collection of just different players over the regions that was just really good. So for you to be on that team, it was more of an honor. So when I got that that I got that nod, I kind of knew I was one of the special kids at that point.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Kev.
So now we get into 2002 McDonald's All-American game. You did your thing, scored 22 points, and I'm gonna go back for a second because you mentioned that even though you grew up in North Carolina, you got that New York swag within you. And one of the things we do is we come at people's neck right off the rip. We ain't trying to hear that you the best. No, I'm the best. So you stepped in that court and did your thing.
Most definitely.
Is there anybody in particular that when you see that name, whether it was Raymond Felton, Chris Bosh, Stoudemire, Mello, anybody who's like, you know what, when I get on this floor, I'm gonna show them that they ain't really messing with me?
Oh man, like I say, man, my story's so different. Let me put this down. Let me go ahead and get into this. So high school was so different. It was so different for me because when I say New York, I went to boarding school in New Hampshire for 2 years. So I was in New England prep for 2 years in my high school years. And being up there and already being exposed to the New York culture, I kind of, I ran heads with all the New Englanders, the Boston fans, the whole nine. So I was a warrior.
A whole different feel out there.
New York warrior for, I'm saying, that whole region. So when I was up there, it showed me a whole different culture, of basketball, of how to maneuver in the college. I mean, not the college game, but the high school game, but with fifth-year seniors. So when it came down to the McDonald's All-American game and my pedigree as a player, I always was an apex predator when I was on the court. You know what I'm saying? I attacked. It was always you always on your heels. And so even then, I was the loud mouth, dunking, screaming your face, but I was the leader. And so I didn't have to go attack at the McDonald's game and attack somebody. What I did was I used my leadership and my ability to lead by example to get everybody to come, basically get the camaraderie around the guys to lead them. And there was a thing that I did when I was in school. When I was in high school, I did this sign. I got it from Carl Krauser. He played at Pittsburgh. He was from Bronx.
Okay, I was going to say the X, yes.
Yeah. And so after every time he scored, X, BX, BX, BX. And I thought that shit was the coolest shit in the world, right? And so when I went to the McDonald's All-American game, my senior year, we won the championship in New England. So I started doing it as total domination. And I started doing it in practices for the McDonald's All-American games. I was destroying guys and I was talking shit and I was leading. And I had Amari and Carmelo who was on our team. It was me, Raymond, Carmelo, Amari, Sean May, JJ Redick. All of us was on the same team. And guys fell in line, man. Guys fell in line with the leadership. They was doing it coming out of the huddle. You can go back and look at the game and see those guys coming out doing that. That's some of my proudest work right there.
With that being said, though, I'm sure you got them guys who fall in line and everybody was loving the X on your squad. How many people did you ruffle their feathers on the other side? Because I'm sure when you start showboating and giving people the business, they're not trying to hear that.
Because they were so new to who we was. We knew each other, but we didn't know each other like that. So it wasn't like an attack, but it was an intimidation factor. So for me,
Absolutely.
I'm always intimidating, but the more intimidating you are is like when you can do it by surprise. So when they're not expecting you to be the leading scorer, like I know I should have won MVP of the McDonald's All-American game. I know I should have won it. Mm-hmm. And I could have won it if I'd have did more, but I decided to, defer a couple times because I knew it was all about how many points you had at the end. And so when you got guys understanding that, it's like, shit, you can put yourself in position to be a legend because it's the stats driven.
Right. Absolutely. Listen, I want to get into when you got to the pros real quick. And I know you had bounce for days. Like I've seen you pretty much off the vert, put some mean ones in. And I want you to go back for a second, and there's a dunk in particular that you had on Camden that brought something out of you, got teed up, but it was so unexpected because, like I said, we knew you had bounce, but you just took off. My man didn't even know what to do with it. Like, what came out of you in that moment when you got that tech?
That dunk was disrespectful on a lot of levels.
Hey, it's a story to that, man. It's so crazy. So that
Okay,
game,
give me that backstory.
that game, Marcus Camby was about to get a triple-double. He had 8 blocks at the time.
Mm.
And we was getting beat bad. I was a rookie. And I had already went into the game earlier in the game. The second quarters is the only quarters I used to play when I was a rookie. So at the end of the games, if the game got out of hand, he put me in with the garbage minutes. And so I got to get in the game, but I remember talking to Eddie Griffin, rest in peace, EG.
Rest in peace. The leads on.
I looked at EG, man, and he was like, man, this nigga can be beating everything. He about to get a triple-double. I said, what? Man, if I go back in, I'm going to dunk on that nigga. And EG looked at me and just started laughing like he tried to use it. Because I used to just say shit like that. But I meant it because I knew I could catch him. I caught a lot of centers in my career. I've almost caught all of the big-time centers. So I knew I could get him if I had the opportunity. So I had got back in the game, and KG caught him on the drop step. Boom, dunked it. Bam, and one. Ticket scream, I scream. We both screaming. Ah! Ref give me a tech. I'm like, oh, what? So I guess he gave me the tech because I was like, get dunked on tonight. Tech, young fella, rookie. No, we're not having none of that tonight. We're not doing that. Okay, cool. I'm like, oh, shit. So the next play come down, which is what the clip is. We go down there. They shoot the tech. Ticket get his, go back down. We get a stop. Here we go on offense. So I ain't really thinking too much of it until the point that he tipped me the ball. Marco threw me the ball, and I seen I had Andre Miller on me. And I seen that he was just too close to the basket. I'm like, I'm about to drop step on this little nigga. And I grabbed it and I drop step and I put the shoulder onto him and I seen he just let me open. So Camby was coming, he was out of bounds. He had tried to block Marco and went out of bounds. So he had to come back inbounds, but he was so thirsty. So thirsty for the block. He wanted a triple, he knew it. And I didn't understand because I had seen him go out of bounds. So when I had the bump, I knew I had a clear dunk. And he came back in bounds to try to block that shit. And man, I had to teach him a lesson.
I'm glad you taught him that lesson. But I want to ask you something else real quick. I know you're righty, but I've noticed you had this penchant for flushing it with your left, though. What's that about in particular?
Word.
Shit, man, ambidextrous. Just being able to do both. Catch the nigga on the left, catch him on the right.
You don't see that too often, man.
I was always a left to right to left crossover guy. You know what I'm saying? When it came to playing pickup, a lot of my game people ain't never seen because it's not allowed. Type of shit I be doing in pickup. I got even a whole different myth, a whole different legend in pickup than I do in regular ball. So it's different.
Bad. Go ahead, Tay.
Now, Mr. McCants, I'm a huge Carolina fan, man. North Carolina a little bit different, and outside of, I would say, VC, you was the first real dude to bring a little bit of street swag to the university, Chapel Hill, man. What was that all about? Was it well received? Talk about how you mingle with the university today. If it's good, it's not good. But talk about you being the first real street cat to go to Carolina.
Yeah, probably the first and the last. Jerry Stackhouse probably.
He close, but you was like, no. When we talk about real street cats, you was the first. Let's be real.
I mean, I don't consider myself a street cat. You know what I'm saying?
But a different swag. Let's say with a different swag.
Yeah, I was a beast when it came down to it. You know what I'm saying? I was a crowd favorite. I played for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys play because they love to play. A lot of guys play because they think it's fun. And I played because I seen how people looked at Michael Jordan. And I wanted that. I want people to look at me like that. And so if I got to practice to be like this, and I had a dude in our hood that was better than Mike, that played just like Michael Jordan, light-skinned left-hand dude, Darren Jeter. Man, he was Michael Jordan. I just swore, like, if I could get good enough to like that, I could go to the NBA. And that was always my motivation. It was never just to fit in, to be one of the players.
Right.
It was always chasing greatness. I want to be the best of the best. How do I be better than Michael Jordan? How can I get to that level where the conversation is, man, we talking about just being good and nobody can beat him when they on the court. He just win. You can't stand playing against him. And he got so many different ways to beat you. That's what I strive for.
That's
Right,
what's up.
Kev.
So you in North Carolina. You obviously are walking in. Anybody who goes at that point, we talking about Mike, the greatest, he in his footsteps. But there's a lot of things that were said that you made comments about, and everybody knows about them. And then you decided to write a book, Plantation Education: The Exploitation of the Modern Day Athlete Student. What was the catalyst? Well, we know what the catalyst was, but how long after that did you decide, let me put this pen to the paper and speak my truth?
I already had the book ready.
Oh, okay.
See, the thing about what the fans don't know the truth. It's just like how everything happened in the media with the last 4 or 5 years, and truth don't never get turned out. So you don't know who to love, who to hate.
Okay.
And they control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can control the narrative as a media, then nobody can ever get a hold of the truth. When I did the ESPN interview, everybody seen what they seen. They seen Rashad going at UNC in a 15-minute clip.
Right.
I did an 1.5-hour interview with these people. And we talked about the NCAA, because that's the whole reason I did the whole interview, was to fight the NCAA and the exploitation that they set up. They allowed the system to happen. They allowed the classes to be set up. They allowed the eligibility to be used as a pipeline to set up guys to come in and not have to worry about their grades. So that was what the conversation was about. But the producers,
they
I
chopped
can't
and
control
screwed
how they put the shit out. And then I gotta watch it, and I'm watching it for the first time like everybody else, like, oh shit, they gonna hate me after this. Damn. So now I gotta deal with the fact that y'all don't understand what the real thing I'm fighting for. Y'all think I'm fighting against UNC. And I got to use y'all as an example of just fraudulent education, because that's what happened.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up, because you did say earlier when you were younger, I believe in junior high, you said they actually benched you or wouldn't let you play because of your grades. And so I'm now looking at that as going, here you have at one point in your life, you couldn't play as a result of this. And now here you are, they giving you everything and saying, go ahead, they ain't give a damn now. So now you conflicted. Like, talk on that for a little bit and tell me what you really felt when you looked at the stark difference between the two.
Man, look at this dynamic here. After that happened to me, I fell into the Michael Jordan category because I was cut in the 8th grade. Mike was cut in the 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dynamic for me to take that and use it as motivation as a student athlete was prompted from my dad telling me, so now you see, you can go be one of these niggas on the stoop, you know what I'm saying? Hustling, going to the gym, being in the gym with y'all niggas in there, not doing nothing, 30 years old, not doing nothing. Or you can come in here with B's and A's and you can go do something with your life. You be on the TV like them boys in there. And so when he always gave me that ultimatum, it motivated me to say, yeah, I'm going to go do this. So when I had the opportunity to go to boarding school, and that opportunity came from me playing AAU. That opportunity came from me getting cut. So I got cut, and it wouldn't have never gave me the opportunity to be seen by the AAU guy. Then I go play AAU, and I go get seen by the guy who playing in prep school. And then he tell me, you should come play up here, bro. This is the competition you need. Then I go up there, and I change my whole grade from a 2.1 GPA to a 3.4 GPA, 2-time student of the year, 2-time player of the year, and I made 1120 on my SATs. So by the time I graduated, I could go to any school I wanted to in the country. I could have went to Stanford. I should have went to Stanford. I don't know what I was thinking. But I was focused on chasing greatness. It wasn't about how smart I wasn't thinking like the stories tell you to think. Focus on your education and go in there and get your degree, and that's the story. Right. But that's not our story. Our story is, hey, go get that bread, go get drafted, go put that hat on, and look at your mama and say, Mama, we made it. I'm about to go get you this house and this. I did that. I lived that dream. I seen that. Because that's what we grew up, that's what they promoted for us. It was that or rapping. So for me, I seen that, I did that, lived that.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you one thing real quick. That takes integrity for you to have done that. Make them statements regardless, because you saw one side and it was like, this ain't how it's supposed to be. I hustled to get to this point. Now you're gonna hand it to me. I tell my kids that every chance I get. So when this is all said and done with, I'm running this back for them to see for themselves and be like, look, here's somebody with integrity, and this is what I expect.
It was weird. It was weird though, bro, because when I got to prep school, I had changed my whole dynamic from being cut in the 8th grade to knowing I needed to get my grades right so I could get into a college when the time was right. So when the time was right, I could pick any college I wanted to go to. But then when I get to college, they tell me, you ain't got to go to class. Yeah. And I'm like, what you mean? Right. Hey, look, and here go the questions. This is the syllabus. Here go the papers. Here go the answers. The whole system, nigga. If it was a movie, it would be my. I wrote a TV series called Play, and man, I would show the shit like it was back in '93 with higher learning and the program and blue chips.
Blue chips, yeah.
Hey, it moved just like that. It moved just like that, man, and everybody know it. So you say I'm being a villain. Real niggas are the villain, man, because fake niggas don't want more real. Fake niggas don't want more real niggas on the planet.
So how you feel how they moving on this cats getting bread off their likeness now? How you feel about that? If you mean, you just throw that in there. Like, what's the word on that? What's your thoughts?
Well, shit, I'm in the tech space to actually help them monetize the name, image, likeness. So I love everything that's going on, and I feel like I am one of the pioneers to help move that forward when it comes to Ed O'Bannon and my sister being a part of that litigation process to fight for the age and image and likeness, in which I couldn't participate in, and Ed couldn't participate in because of the statute of limitation. But after that, what I was doing with North Carolina was more of a showing the example of you saying you're not paying us because you're giving us a free education. And I personally is telling you, I made the dean's list and I didn't go to no class.
Wow. Wow.
So don't tell me you're giving me a free, credible education because you don't want to pay me when I ain't had to go to class, and you put me in these African-American study courses, and you're saying, we're going to put you in here because they're not going to question why you're taking these courses. You want to learn about your own heritage.
No doubt. No doubt.
I appreciate you speaking up on that.
Most definitely. Let's jump back for real fast to the hoop side of things. So the round of 64, 65, don't matter the numbers, don't really even matter at this point. But it's a difficult journey. Talk about some things when you started in the campaign of 2005 for y'all to run the table and become national champions. And what were some things you didn't know that it took to get there that you know now you want to reflect on? And what was it like, man, just standing in the middle of the court and being a kid who had to go through a difficult process when that confetti dropped down on your head in St. Louis, bro?
So my shirt says it was written, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, so story never heard before. When I recruited North Carolina, which I recruited North Carolina.
Okay.
They wasn't recruiting me. So once I recruited them and I decided to go there, I knew the only reason I was going there because I needed to win I needed to mimic the accolades of Mike and surpass them. Accolade 1 would be winning the championship. Accolade 2 would be winning National Player of the Year. And accolade 3 would be getting your name in the rafters. And so being able to accomplish those things without getting the National Player of the Year helped me, realize what my whole plan was from the start. So I recruited Sean May. I needed him on my team. I needed a big man. Raymond was the first to commit to Carolina, but this is an 8-20 team. This is 8-20. Matt Doherty's calling me the whole 8-20 year. Like, I wish you was coming to this. I wish you could come right now. Right. And so when I finally got there that first year, he didn't expect me to be who I was, because when they see me play, I was playing like Shane Battier. I was being a team player, all over the place, taking the charge, blocking the shots, shooting the threes. But we looking good. We killing everybody. There's no chance for nobody. We just dominate. And so when I got to Carolina and I started dominating offensively the way that I do, it was unbelievable for them. And so for those 3 years, I had already prophesized we're gonna win, but for us it's gonna be, how long is it gonna take? So when Matt Doherty got out of there the first year, I had already established myself as a diaper dandy even before we got to college. So nobody really didn't expect me to be what I was being in my first year. So it was easier to kind of dictate after the first year what we was going to do the second year if we had a chance to win it all, what we was going to do. But he ended up getting fired. And so Roy comes in. So now we had to backtrack one more year because we got a new coach. So we still don't even know what we can do with him. And so this is the year that he really let me go. And I averaged like 24 in the ACC, 20 a game for the whole season. I was the first sophomore to ever do it and broke all these records. And I wanted to come out, and William Wesley was in my life at the time as a mentor, and he advised me to stay. I told him I didn't want to be a top 15 guy. I want to be a top 5, top 3 guy. He said, look, you want to be all that, you got to win a championship. And I was like, so I got to stay. He said, you got to stay. Got to go back. So for me, I had to go back and stay that third year. And I knew that third year we was going to win it all, simply because, we had assembled a team to win a championship. We just hadn't won it yet because we hadn't been playing long enough under the same system to understand how it worked and how he wanted us to work it. And once we figured that out after the first year, it was more of my sacrifice. So I had to sacrifice my scoring to get everybody else involved for us to completely dominate. I had to go back to my freshman year mentality. So that put everything into perspective for me, for us to dominate that whole 2005 season. It was a real easy decision because I knew what I was capable of. I was smart enough and intelligent enough to know that the behaviors of my teammates, their jealousy, their issues with me came from me not sharing the ball because I'm in here getting buckets. I'm a bucket getter. And when you're a bucket getter, it ain't about, sharing the rock. It's about getting the job done. It's about winning. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like, if we winning, y'all should be falling in line. But sometimes you got to cater to some guys' egos, and sometimes it's a whole team. Sometimes they be like, oh, it's you. It is me. But let's look at y'all. Look at why y'all mad. We winning.
Right.
Coach want me to get the ball so I can score this. Why y'all mad? But I understand why y'all mad. Y'all not being seen. Everybody keep coming up to me when we out.
So that's
actually, go ahead.
So there ain't no iron team. Everybody said that's an old cliche, right? But at the end of the day, you was getting it done. That third year, your junior year, you was getting buckets. Like you said, you was a bucket getter. People didn't see that, but you was cooking. Bottom line, you was cooking. In that championship team, there was 6 of y'all to go to the league. 4 of y'all was first round selections, but you was really had to shine. There was a lot of talent on the team, no doubt. But behind the scenes, you started to talk about something. How was the turmoil? How did y'all deal with that? Because it's a long journey from preseason to non-conference, conference, ACC tournament, and the regular tournament. So how did y'all deal with that, man? With the friction going on behind the scenes, bro?
It ain't even called friction, man. It's just like everybody got their own clique.
Okay.
and I was the only
It's
dude.
an unspoken thing.
Yeah, I was the only dude that didn't have the click. I was the only New York nigga on a Southern team.
Okay.
So they playing Mike Jones and Lil Flip. I'm like, man,
You
put
playing
J
Jigga.
on.
Yeah.
Except for J.O.
Put J on. Y'all not playing no Jada, no J, no what's up? And there was a disconnect when it just came to swag, culture, and vibe, and women and girls, and it was just different. So when it's different like that, you just got to understand what you're there for, and that's for the basketball. And as long as
Now,
we
let
go,
me ask you this: Did Roy Williams facilitate that at all? Did he look at that and kind of like, "Yeah, y'all figure it out"? Did he be like, "Listen, you take you to the side, be like you keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about that." Like, how did that all play out with him?
nah, there wasn't none of that. We just had to kind of finesse our way through and try to figure out where we fit in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, with coaches like him, he already solidified on his system. He don't feel like he needs to ask you no questions about what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do it or you don't. I'll sub you out.
Got you.
I'll
Now, you
show
mentioned you mentioned the locker room guys is playing Mike Jones and you looking for Jigga and all this other stuff. And on the Stoop, we also embrace the culture aside from just basketball.
No doubt.
And over the years, there's been a lot of ballers that rap, but your name consistently comes out on top among the best.
Who the fuck be saying my name? That's crazy.
I've heard it, bro. I've heard it amongst others, but can we expect to hear anything new in the future from Sonny Black?
Y'all ain't heard nothing old.
There's a couple things that I've heard. You did something with Bone. I forget his name now, but did my research a little bit. But I'm looking to see if you got something new, some new fire.
Sonny can't be. Sonny retired. What's up, man?
I mean, you know, I dabble. We've been doing this shit for 15, 16 years, man. I've been in this music game 15, 16 years. So, you know, I do some consultant shit. I do some writing. I love rap, man. I love rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm anything else but a rapper because I like to rap. You know what I'm saying? And there's tiers to music that people don't be understanding. They be putting everybody in the same categories and shit that don't belong.
No, not at all. Yeah, there's definitely tears to it. Give me your eyes. So with that being said, and I know you say you're a New York dude. Give me your top 5 New York dudes. I don't want all time. I just want New York.
Top 5 New York.
Yeah.
All time. Nas and Jigga. Biggie. 50. And DMX.
Okay.
Ooh.
Got it. Got it, T.
Got it.
You can't beat that 5. That 5 is disgusting.
You said all time?
All time 5, like that 5 right there. Big J, Nas.
I can get close.
X.
I can get close.
And who else is like?
I can get close. You talking about New York City rappers? I can definitely get close.
Go ahead.
That you didn't name.
Go ahead.
Rakim the God, number 1. The all-time storyteller, Slick Rick. Metaphors, Cool G Rap. You said somebody new.
He went extra
you
old
said top
school, but
5.
it's cool.
You said
It's
top
cool.
5.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Go ahead.
Lyricism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fab is a monster. People sleep on Fab. And last but not least is Jadakiss. You didn't name none of them 5, bro. I like that. He said, I like that.
Yeah. Fab is mean. I'm pissed off that he's often left off of a lot of lists.
Yeah,
Fab is mean.
Listen. I feel Fab. Fab. It's a lot of New York rappers that refuse to get out of the lanes and expand their shit, man, and get it.
No, I respect. Listen, together we got the top 10 all time, so I respect it. Nas is dead. Fifth is dead. Hove is definitely dead. Big is dead. Your list is definitely dope.
Oh man, my list is undefeated. Ain't nobody stepping up to them. Who's stepping up to Fifth and Jay and Nas and Big and X?
Half of them is going, like I said, half of them is going to tell you they looked up to Rakim. Lyricism.
But look, that's culture. We're talking about culture. I'm talking about talent.
Yeah, if we talking about they definitely
Talking
are
about
like the
talent.
biggest. They
Rakim not
got the
talented?
Well, he not
biggest
more
impact.
talented to the end of them five though. We talking about talent. We're not
Yeah.
talking about culture. Culturally, all time, Rakim gonna stand first because he did it first. It's like putting MJ in front of everybody every time, man. Everybody put it. MJ did it first, man. MJ's like Michael Jackson. He did it first. You can't say nobody better than the nigga that did it first.
But so what's wrong with Jadakiss? Because Jadakiss rhymed with Big, been around since Hov and Nas, and the longevity of his career is still beating strong. Kiss is a monster.
I wouldn't say it's beating strong. Jada went away from his bread and butter too. His Ignitus, man. I'm waiting. Where is Jada? Where's Jada? Just like Fab. Fab and Jada did a whole album together. Should have been the greatest album of all time.
Listen, I'm gonna rock with you on that one because even
what
though it was
happened?
solid, yeah, even though it was solid, it wasn't what I anticipated it to be.
Every track's supposed to be unconscious, man. Y'all be in there playing around. Everybody be saying, "Yeah, that's good." It's not, man. Do it again.
Do it again.
You're Jada, you're Fab, man. You're Jada and Fab. Do that shit again, man.
There wasn't enough replay value on that one. I'm gonna rock with you on that, absolutely.
But I still play that shit all the time, though. I still, because I love rap. They still be rapping their ass off, but it's like if you're gonna rap, you don't care who listen. But if you're gonna make music, let's go make some fucking music. Let's make some bangers, man. Let's not just go out here and throw some shit around.
That's fair. I mean,
to be fair, Jada took a lot of hit from that early on in his career when he came out with his solo albums, and he did just that. He was making music, and people was like, "Oh, we ain't trying to hear this shit." And so, to be fair, we've been there.
It was a different era too. So he would be now embraced now with that music he made then, because back then they wasn't ready for it.
Respect. And I mean, listen, Nas album, Nas arguably had one of the albums of the year in 2020. King's Ransom was dope from front to back. Like, that was one of my joints last year. So I don't know how everybody else thought on it, but I love King's Ransom.
He's outdated.
What?
It's outdated music. We don't want to hear that shit no more. That's why all the old niggas mad at the new niggas, because the new wave is so out of our comfort zone. We can't put music out with them. So it's like, I can't stand y'all new niggas. Y'all making the lane hard to get in because now they got to compare our music to y'all's, and it ain't no comparison. You can't listen to Nas and listen to the new shit and be like, this Nas shit dope. That shit sound like 90s music.
But he's still a lyricist, and that's his bread and butter. So if you stand in your pocket and you staying in your lane, what's wrong with that? And my thing is, when he had the newer cats on the album, he stuck up with them ball for ball. Like, you got to remember, I'm still not seeing it.
You got to evolve your bars and your music and your dialogue. And we know you sold dope when you was selling dope, but what you doing now? What's up, man? Let's be realistic. If it's rap, are we gonna still be Are we acting? What are we doing now?
All right. So with that being said, then did you fully embrace 444? Because that was an involvement right there. Now you're gonna say you didn't want to hear that from Jigga.
No. I'm not gonna say that at all. 444, I feel like.
Is that outdated?
That was the ultimate evolution right there for me, because he went from.
It wasn't about being outdated because it was a message. It was just kind of like Jay Electronica album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wanted to relay a message, and Jay wanted to relay it in such a way where he can be hypocritical, subliminal, and funny at the same time, because the kind of information he's giving out, he knows is not going to be applied, but it sounds good because it's him giving it.
Ooh.
It's him.
That's a bar right there.
He giving the information. He know you're gonna take it and you're gonna listen to it and try to apply for whatever you're doing. That's Jay and Matt. That's what you call an MC. He's the master of ceremony. He's the master. You can't get higher than him. He know what he's doing. He create the illusion.
Well said, sir. Well said. Moving on.
Yeah, let's talk some basketball again. We're going to get back to the culture, but we're going to get back to basketball too. So listen, at the end of the day, man, we can find you now killing the Big Three circuit, man. You've been an MVP. I mean, you've been what the people love to hate, man, but you're doing your thing. You back to being yourself. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You just scoring, getting buckets. They love to hate you, but you're a champion when it all comes down to it, man.
And still got bounced.
So we know dudes. This is a two-part question for you too. We know dudes are still vying for, looks, and opportunities to play overseas or whatever the case is, man. But at the end of the day, man, what pushes you to dominate on that court? And do you realize with your skill set that you still got some love left to give in the league? Because we see guys that are outspoken like yourself, sometimes they just try to push you out, man, and it's unfair.
Yeah, man. So I retired last year or the year before, year after. Yeah, I've been retired for
3 seasons now, right?
about a year.
Talk your talk, man.
I mean, with the big three, I wanted the opportunity to shut the door, close the book, give my fans an opportunity to hear me one last time. So like you was just saying, like they could shut you out. And that's what they did. I was globally blackballed, for a while. And all I really wanted was an opportunity to say my piece at one moment where it was an unbiased platform. Mm-hmm. So when the big three came about and I got the opportunity, surprisingly got the opportunity to be a part of it. I took full advantage of it, and I knew I was the best. It's almost like what was happening when I was playing in the league, when you got the first team out there and all the starters, all Ray Allen, T-Mac, Vince, Kobe, everybody, and every team got the star 2-guard or 3-guard that you got to go against. It's a monster. It's going to be a nightmare. But you never look or think about them. That's not who I'm playing against. Mm-hmm. I'm playing against the bench guy, the 7th guy, the 8th guy. So I'm looking on their bench and they roster like, who they 7th, 8th guy? Who? Deion Glover.
Right.
I'm about to murder him. I can't wait to get in with the second unit. Hmm? Can't wait to get in with the second unit. So it was always about sizing up the second unit. And that helped the transition easily. So it's always like, okay, the second unit, he's not messing with me. I got it.
So check this out. If somebody hit your line right now, talk to the agent, whatever the case is, for a tryout, you done? You're not in it no more? Your heart not in it?
My situation is political.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm like Suge Knight. I'm like Donald Trump when it comes to sports and basketball. I've already, I've ripped with the highest of the high. I done ripped with the high table. That's why I'm different. These dudes, these conversations are different because of who I'm fighting with, who I'm fighting against, and I'm by myself. So when these dudes see me, they pay homage and they say, they might talk behind my back and talk crazy. That's why you say I'm the villain, because some niggas gonna say some shit, but they're not gonna ever, when they see me, it's different. My energy's different. Mm-hmm. So in my face and around me, it's like, yeah. What's up? Remember me? Smile, smile, smile. Then they're gonna call me the villain, but what I'm fighting for is bigger.
So what's next on the table for the villain?
A lot, man. I'm developing this VR, AR platform for the future. It's a learning edutainment platform that's going to help a lot of people for the future. And writing another book, building businesses, man, being a creator.
So, that's what's up.
So go ahead, Kev.
I got one last question for you, sir. I know your sister Rashad is a baller as well. She also went to North Carolina, donned the same number. The two of y'all growing up in the household, how competitive were you guys with each other? Did she play ball with you? Did you basically bully other people and say, don't watch out, don't touch my sister? What's the story with that?
She's my twin. We Irish twins.
That's in a year apart, okay.
So you look at our last names, we got our Irish last names. Ironically, she just grew up following me, basically. And once I let her start playing with us when we were younger, I would pick her on my team and allow her to play against my friends and allow her to get roughed up so she can get tough. And she was right there with Candace Parker. Like if it was, Candace Parker had an arch rival, it would be my sister. My sister, she was supposed to go to Tennessee, but she wanted to follow me. She followed my footsteps. She was supposed to have her own legacy with Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt personally recruited her. My sister was #1 in the whole country. Me and my sister were the first brother-sister to be McDonald's All-Americans. We were the first brother-sister to be on the covers of Sports Illustrated. We were both drafted to the Minnesota organization. She was drafted 15th. I was drafted 14th.
Wow.
A lot of legacy right there.
It's a whole bunch of shit, yeah.
A lot of legacy right there.
That's what's up.
So before
Much
we get out
props
of
to
here, Mr. McCants, I just want to ask you, man, for the next cat coming along, man, who is visibly outspoken, virtually outspoken, the whole nine, but they teetering on the fence about being themselves because, you know, there's a lot of suckers out here and they want to blackball people or, you know, make sure that you follow a certain and toe the line, man. What advice would you give them? What would you care to share? And how would you make sure that they do things their way?
So you basically talking about cancel culture. That's what they call it now.
And the gatekeepers.
It used to be called blackballing. Now it's called cancel culture. So for these sensitive ass people out here, if they don't agree with what you say, they could get a group of their friends together and say, let's not go to his website no more. Let's not look at his site no more. He's a feminist. He's this. He's a racist. He's that. And then that's it. So you got to toe the line. You got to be aware. You're participating in a society that you don't got control over every step that you take. You don't got control over every word that you put out. So you got to be careful. You can't just have conversations with anybody. Everybody want a soundbite. Everybody want to come up. Everybody want attention now. It's clout. It's clout crazy. It's a different world. Motherfuckers is doing reviews of old shit just to get some attention. Like I ain't never seen anything like it, but it's smart. Cause y'all bored.
Y'all bored. I got it. Well, listen, man. We don't want attention. We just want to have an organic conversation. We appreciate you and your time,
As
man.
always. Hey, listen. First and foremost, this right here is supposed to been our platform from the start.
Appreciate that.
Everybody's just catching on to how powerful it is. So this ain't the kick you in the butt, you know, platform. This is the one that everybody should have been doing in the first place.
No doubt.
Well, appreciate that.
Well, listen, to all of your endeavors, future businesses, man, we hope the world opens back up and you terrorizing them back on that big 3 trilogy scene. And shout out to my guy, Q, for giving y'all an outlet to still play. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man, 90% of y'all out there could still give somebody some work. That's just a fact. I'm proud to see that y'all can still display y'all talents, man. Because we do miss some real ones in the league these days, man. So, like I said, Mr. McCants, whatever you got going on, man, we respect you and wish you all the best. And thank you for pulling up on the stoop tonight, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Listen, for my partner Kev P, it's been another great episode of the Stoop. Make sure y'all like and subscribe real soon. Y'all take care.